Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. There is a little credibility issue here in the Navalny camp. Why? Because Navalny's team, the handlers of his image and legacy, announced that Navalny will be buried publicly in Moscow on the 1st of March 2024. Now, where is that credibility issue coming from? Well, if you remember, and if you don't remember, right here, I will update you on this one. In this video that I made on February 22nd, 2024, I said that Navalny's mother sees her son's body and she is told to bury him secretly and threatened by Russian officials. So if you watch this video that I made, you're gonna see an article, or actually two, that I used, where Navalny's mom was allowed to see the body of her son, unfortunate son, and she claims, that's her direct quotation, that the Russian officials at the penitentiary, or wherever she was viewing the body, threatened her that if she is going to have a public funeral, then they will not give her the body and they will bury it over there in a penitentiary. She said that they threatened her. Well, I doubted that, but nevertheless, in next videos that I made regarding the issue, I said that probably they didn't say that. She will have a public funeral, which should be done. I mean, I'm not against that, and who am I to say? And she will be considered, how do you call it, challenging Putin or not listening to Putin. So she faces Putin, again, elevating someone to a level where she's not. And here we have this article here where they confirm that somehow he is going to be buried not only publicly, public funeral, but in the middle of Moscow. Will the March 1st, do you think, constitute a attempt of a Maidan? I don't put it past these guys' intentions. So let me show you. Ukrainska Pravda, Wednesday the 28th of February 2024. Russian opposition leader. Again, how many votes he's got, how many percentages that he was the leader? Go and check it up. The highest percentage he's got 27% in a 2000, I can't even remember what it was, 2014, 13, something like this, mayoral election. So he was a candidate to be the mayor of Moscow, and he's got, I think, 27%. 27% in Moscow, not not Russia, Moscow. So I can remember Putin running for being the mayor of Moscow. Nevertheless, 27 in Moscow. So they can call this guy is Putin's nemesis and all this, and Putin is afraid of. Anyway, just as a extra information here. So opposition leader Navalny to be buried on March 1st at Moscow's Borisovo cemetery. So not only that he is going to publicly have a funeral, but in Moscow, in the capital. Now, don't you think that Putin is afraid that it's going to be, a place where his supporters will come and, create something every time, 1st of whenever he died, 20-some of February, will be a place where they're going to come over there, like a new Mecca or something? Or do you think that Putin will eventually go and get an excavator and get it out? None of this will happen. You will have probably, I suspect that there will be some, maybe a lot of people, I suspect a lot of people, showing up at the funeral. And I suspect that would be also used to stopping camping in Moscow. That is, creating, like you always do, a little camp. We won't go anywhere. We don't want to go anywhere. I guarantee you the police will disperse them. They will probably set a camp like they do. You saw that in Tel Aviv and in other locations where they stay over there day and night, and they will do, I don't know exactly what, until they will be considered, I don't know, disturbing the public peace or something, and they will be taken out, and the media will be ready like vultures to show the repressive apparatus of Moscow. That's what I think will happen. Now, regarding the credibility, I said that in that video on the 22nd, that probably didn't happen that way. And this is how this media here portrays certain things and elevates or destroys, depending on how what their narrative, what their interests are, destroy people's image. In this case, Navalny, as unfortunate, I even want to say it's like, want to be like the third time when I see unfortunate. I don't think he's unfortunate, because when you get in certain kind of business, you expect scenarios, outcomes. This is the most likely, this is it, this is it, this is it. You take risks. Now, I'm not gonna play the victim here or hero whatsoever, but you look around and you see what happened to some, like me, for instance. So there are some risks, and you take them into consideration, and you're going to face them, and you're going to react if and or when they happen. And you expect things. You expect the intelligence community to knock at my door and take me for some interviews. You expect people in the street to grab you by the collar and or try to get you by there if they can pass the first test, and so on. So there's many, and not only that, people trying to do this, people threatening you, and I live through this, which is fine. I mean, it's expected. And things could be somewhere a scenario, the same with Navalny. He didn't expect to be dying at 47, obviously, but I guarantee you that he knew once he was in this business with the people around, pushing and so on, with his voluntary agreement to do that, maybe pushed by some patriotic duty, maybe pushed by some foreign agencies, interest and so on, or both, or many more reasons why he did it. He knew there were risks. People who are standing here in the Western countries and they think that that's awful. Look at how, for instance, a country would interpret what happened to Navalny. From the Russian perspective, if Navalny was pushed by outside forces, they consider that a national threat. What do you think FBI would do to such a person? Do you think we'd just let him be over there? You would not have a media to talk anymore. Your venues will cancel your appointments. If you want to go and have a speech, they will not accept you're going to go in a public park and you're going to have speeches. I know that. I know that for a fact. So if these guys don't want you, or don't want the media to hear from the media, the people to hear from you, they can just destroy you like that. Minimize your platform. I know people, direct people, that had their, their meetings, public meetings, cancelled by various venues. Why? Because there was some certain singular group, who put pressure on those hotels, venues, where these guys, organized their shit, and they were cancelled. So then where you meet? In people's houses? You have tens of thousands who would, participate in certain kind of meetings. But nevertheless, he's going to be buried, and I'm glad that he's going to be, everything normal, and which is going to be public. But and in Moscow. And believe me, if the Russians really said that they will do what his mother said they will do, I guarantee you, you wouldn't have heard about Navalny's funeral. No, You wouldn't. I guarantee you that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and wait for the 1st of March in Moscow. Things will happen. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just, my friends.